Monday morning on Buckeye Breakdown, you know what that means. It's time to take a look at the tape. Let's figure out how well or how poorly in certain areas the Ohio State Buckeyes played against the Youngstown State Penguins on Saturday. We've got a lot of film to get to, so let's just jump right into it after this quick timeout. You're watching Buckeye Breakdown as we take a look inside the film room.
We've got the whole crew together as we cover Ohio State with our instant analysis from Ohio State.
There's something that doesn't feel right.
Unbelievable effort from him today. Is E.J. Liddell going to crack the first team All Big Ten?
I think he can be the guy. I'm not trying to start a quarterback controversy.
He seems to have the durability. He certainly has the toughness. This is the question on a lot of people's minds here. Welcome to Buckeye Breakdown.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Buckeye Breakdown. If it's the first time you're joining us, sure glad to have you. We're live 7 a.m. every weekday morning as we talk Ohio State football, and our Monday episodes always revolve around film room content. So this is one of our favorite episodes of the week. We put all of our podcasts not only live on YouTube, we take the audio and post them separately as well, wherever you like to find your favorite show, except for this one, because I think this is a show that is so visual heavy that we only post this one on YouTube. So this is the only place you can get this week's show on film room stuff. Hope you'll subscribe to the content on our channel. We certainly like having a really good audience, and it's been fun throughout the beginning of the year to kind of break some stuff down with you. All right, Anthony. I think there were probably some better moments this week. I think we'll find that there are, across the board, not just with Cal McCord, there are some good things to build on at lots of positions, but I don't think that it would be honest to tell everybody that, hey, this was a perfect game. And so we're going to try to show a little bit of everything. So why don't we jump right into it? And I know there's obviously a pretty good play to get started with, since the Bucs scored a touchdown all of about a minute and a half into the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, there's a lot of good in this tape, and some bad, some things to improve. And, we'll be able to call out some of the stuff we talked about yesterday. A lot of times it's really hard to, when you and I are having a conversation about maybe line play or running back play and not be able to see it and visualize it. So I'm excited to get into this one. So, all right, starting it up. This is drive number 1. So it's a perfect place to start. Play number 3 of the game, right? 13:45 left in the first quarter. We got 3rd and 5. So obviously we know this play as this is going to be a touchdown here to Marvin Harrison Jr. But looking at the scheme, this is what I really like about what Kyle did on this play. So you're going to get a quarters coverage, okay? So what they'll oftentimes do, actually it turns into being cover 2. So when you play cover 2, if you've played Madden before or you've looked at anything, this guy's responsible for the flat area. This guy, our safety up here, is responsible for the deep half. That's why it's called 2. You got a deep half on this top side of your screen, and then you can't see the 2 guys on the top of your screen, but they're responsible for the half and the flat over there. So what this area is called here is called the dead zone. Okay, so what that means is it's really hard to get to. It's a dead area where there's no defense. So the reason I love this play is because it's really schemed up really well to put this guy in a bind. Okay, you'll see the corner fall off here, and then we run a kind of a hook, which probably could be like a dig, potentially just to get the attention of this safety, and you'll be able to see what that does. So we'll run this back. Sorry, it's a little glitchy on that start. But when you run it back, you'll see at the top, right here, Emeka on his hook route that I just called out pulls that safety down and then brings that dead area into play. So you see that this clip just a touch glitchy, so I apologize about that. But you see that this corner is playing underneath of Marvin Harrison in that flat area. The safety drove on number 2, which left a huge hole for Kyle McCord to rip one to Marvin Harrison. Really love this play because it wasn't Kyle just trying to force it to Emeka just to get the first down, which you obviously could have, and he would have moved the chains here. But he read it out, saw what the safety did, and reacted accordingly, ripping an accurate shot to Marvin and letting him run and do what he does best, catch, run, and score. So thought it was a great start by Kyle. I love that play to get it going. I thought, that was a huge momentum booster for Kyle to get some things going. So moving it forward, I think Kyle's off to a really.
I just want to ask a quick question here before we start this next play. Who's the primary target? On that last play, because Coach Day had made a comment that, hey, the first touchdown of the game, he said we expected Marvin to be doubled, and he wasn't. And when he popped free, Kyle hit him.
Yeah, so I think it's a really good play call because I think right here, Emeka's your primary, okay? Because in your mind, you're like, all right, they're going to take Marvin away. They're not going to let us take a shot down the sideline, so let's try and move the chains. And this is like, this is actually a pretty – this is like a day one concept that you put in, and these guys have repped 1,000 times, right? Where it's just kind of a hitch over the ball, or hitch, maybe it's probably a 7 to 8 yard route, I would say. Where he's taken it, made this throw 200 times, where he steps back, takes his steps, puts his foot in the ground, and delivers it. So my guess is that Emeka is probably your primary just to move the chains. And then if you read it where the safety drives, you flip your hips and you're able to get it right to the sidelines. So that is, that's a great question and, a great comment by Coach Day to say that. And it shows just a really good growth from Kyle to get to number 2. And when you do that, you go through your reads, good things like this happen. All right. So this clip here, 1st and 10, 2 minutes to go in the first quarter, right? We're tied up at 7. I like this clip because I think it's important. This is something that, Kyle, I think, struggled with last week. And this is an easy play. What we're going to see here is a loaded box. And remember, it feels like last week when they had two tight ends in the game, they were a lot of under center. And we talked about this yesterday. Like, hey, they used a lot of shotgun just to get Kyle a little more comfortable, because a throw like this, which you're about to see, he was having to do this off of, a 5-step drop from under center, which can be a little bit more challenging, opposed to catching the snap in the shotgun, turning your hips, and flipping to the sideline. So you have a full box and you're one-on-one down here. All right, so maybe some safety help over top, but for the most part, you got a little bit of cushion. Let's just take on 1st and 10. Let's get a positive play. So you'll see here, we fake the run, and then we rip one right to the sidelines, an accurate throw, just to get the drive going, get ahead of the chains. And what I like about this play is that even as I'm watching it now, looks like it could have been an RPO is what we call it. So this is a good picture to stop it. Oftentimes, you have 2 plays up. You have a run and a pass up. And you see these guys a lot. Will put the ball in the belly of the running back, pull it out, and then throw one. I think you see one here. And yes, let's look at this picture. Chip Trayanum's got a nice little hole there. But that's not Kyle's fault. Kyle has a key that he's reading, whether it's this linebacker coming towards the line of scrimmage, or if the corner gets a little bit off, I can throw that. So he's going to get a plus on this play because he did his job and did it correctly. This doesn't matter to Kyle McCord or the quarterback. All he's got to do is do his responsibility and get the ball out and get it accurate, and so that you can move the sticks, actually, as it turns out. So I like this play, and too, it shows when you have guys like Marvin and Emeka, just get him the football, right? This is a 5-yard hitch that if you deliver accurately, put it on his outside shoulder, give him a runner's ball, he catches, turns, gets up the field, turns a 5-yard completion into a 20-yard gain.
Yeah, and that I was just going to say, I mean, you got guys like that, man, especially when they get in some space, just give them the football.
Yeah, give them the football. They're hard to bring down. They're really good at what they do. They're very, very good at what they do, and they're impossible to tackle. This is such a good play. And you gets it going. You're into plus territory now. You're across the 50. All right. So we all remember this play, right? Kyle's playing well. 6 of 7, 118 yards, 1 touchdown. Let's keep this thing rolling. So 1st and 10, this is shot territory. So you always call it inside. Once you get from the 50 to about the 30, the defense is alert for shots, okay? So they got that in the back of their mind. And Ohio State dials a good one up here. So using a little play action to get some attention off of Marvin. So faking the run here. And what this allows the offensive line to do is now we get a pulling guard. You get 74 coming across for extra protection, because what you're going to see is Kyle fakes this, and now he rolls out and gets some extra space between he and the line. And this is what you love to see. We talked about it yesterday. The offensive line potentially had a little bit of struggles, which we'll get into, but you're 2-on-1 here, dominating, 2-on-1 here, dominating, 2-on-1 down here, dominating. And then you got guys like they're retreating in coverage. 92, not supposed to be there probably. However, Kyle, well protected, okay? And I think this is an awesome throw, right? This is a 50-yard throw to Marvin Harrison for 6. So you really love this play, and I have a back clip of it we'll show here in a second. You love this play because you buy time, and when you do this, this allows Marvin to execute a pretty sick route. So let's see the route here. They did a cool little zoom in from the TV copy, but you get a 2-man route concept. Oftentimes you'll send this guy vertical and send number 1 on some kind of a comeback or curl or something, just as a outlet if needed. But Marvin goes, we call that a a poco, a corner or post corner. Okay. So I actually think it's super impressive. He goes post and he's going back to the corner. Now, what I will say on this one, I think this ball is supposed to be probably closer to the sidelines. I actually don't love the actual throw. I love the decision, obviously, but the throw I think is supposed to be over here. But when you're thrown to 18, watch this guy. Watch this adjustment. He makes that look really easy. I promise if you were to go outside and run down the street and look over your right shoulder and then left shoulder, and even if it was catching, whatever, you're dropping it. This is pretty impressive from Marvin. So love the route, love the adjustment, and obviously finish it in pay dirt.
Yeah, I mean, that felt like, Mike Trout in center field kind of stuff. It's like, oh, wait, I'm over this shoulder. That's not where I thought it was going to be. I'm going to turn around, you adjust your body midair. Yeah. I actually thought to myself in real time that the ball looked like it hung a little bit. The wind it wasn't super windy, but the wind was blowing from left to right across the screen the way you're looking at that there. So maybe that ball hung in the wind a little bit because we've seen enough arm strength from Kyle that, his ball doesn't really float too much.
Yeah. Definitely got one up, and you'll see one here. That's a really good point. You'll see one that gets kind of killed here in a little bit. But, yeah, definitely floated, and I honestly didn't love the placement of it. But, when you're thrown to 18, he'll make you right. He'll make you right for sure. So, all right. So some good clips, and then let's take a look at some not so good. So we talked about this drive yesterday, a really long drive for Ohio State, right? This is the one where it was 14 plays, 60 yards, took a lot of time. But here's the third and 25. Okay, what I want you to look, I'm not really concerned about anything quarterback-wise. I would put my eyes on on our right tackle here. So we're going to drop back, right? 3rd and 25. You need some time. You need some time for the quarterback to drop back and receivers to develop a route. However, we're not going to get much of it, okay? Like stuff like this, like that just kind of can't happen. We're playing Youngstown State. This needs to be a stalemate up front. I think they do a really nice job on the left side doing a little combo work, because they're overloaded the Youngstown State defensive line. You got 3 guys on this side of the ball, and then you got one-on-one here with our right tackle and their defensive end. And that's not what you want to see. Didn't even get a hand on him. And then also this leads to not only, we like Devin Brown. We like Devin Brown running. I don't think that that's a problem. However, it's 3rd and 25, right? You're just kind of like at this point, it's just get positive yards, try to get back into field goal range. But it all starts here. If we can block this up front, don't know what we have concept wise going down the field, but like we just showed, all you got to do is get our playmakers to football, and they can get 25 yards, no problem.
Yeah, and that's only a 4-man rush. I mean, there's no additional pressure there. Like you just gotta you gotta have that blocked. That's a disappointing miss there for Josh Fryer for sure. Yeah. If I remember correctly, though, I think Youngstown State bailed the Buckeyes out there because I'm pretty sure that was a late hit out of bounds.
It was. I stopped the clip early. They did get the late hit out of bounds. That could be argued. I'm sure Youngstown State could have a little bit of an argument of, hey, should that have been thrown or not? But they got it thrown. Move the chains. So you got lucky and bailed out there. But don't really love this clip here out of Josh Fryer because we will be seeing a little bit better pass rush here as the weeks go on. Okay, good one here. 4th and 1. All right, so we're still in the second quarter, 21-7. Again, we talked about this like yesterday. Another long drive, big plays. Need some big plays. So love this clip because again shows that our studs are elite. So 4th and 1. Don't love being in 4th and 1, especially on Saturday. But just be accurate with the football, get it out, and I love this. I know it's kind of blurry where I paused it, but this right here is awesome. Just some physicality by your receivers and springing their boy to get him in the end zone. And then looking for more. Julian, looking for more. And walking into the end zone with the Mecca. I think that's a great clip. And one that they definitely pulled up yesterday and when they were recording in tape, or excuse me, when they were in their film room. Like, hey, look at this. Offensive line, check these guys out. Check this physicality out down here. We got 2 dudes who put 3 Penguins on the ground. So I think that's a great clip and a huge play on 4th and 1.
Yeah, and let's not look past the fact either that Emeka's he's like, I don't think you could tackle him in a phone booth. I mean, the guy he's just so elusive. He can start and stop. His acceleration is crazy. I have enjoyed watching him for a couple years here, but I almost wonder if maybe he, in some small way, if he's underappreciated because he's playing next to 18.
Yeah, yes, that's such a good point because I would say underappreciated, maybe not the word, but like underutilized almost because it's like, hey, 3rd and 10, let's throw it to Marvin. And even like his game Saturday was like, that's a great day. I mean, it was 4 for 96 and a score. And it's like, all right, good job. Marvin had 7 for 160 and 2. So it's like, dang.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure the fact that they're, you're playing on the same roster with those guys, like, it's going to open up opportunities for both of you.
Yeah.
But I am thoroughly convinced that they are, if not the 2 best receivers in the country, 2 of the best 3. Keon Coleman at Florida State is pretty nasty. But beyond that, I mean, I just don't think there's anybody I've seen that's better than these 2.
No, and then your third option is Julian Fleming. Like, that's awesome. Yeah.
He's a former number 1 wide receiver recruit in the nation. I mean, he's a dude.
Yeah, they're awesome. So this is a great clip. I love that little juke move. That's to your point of just his elusiveness. But I think the moral of the story is get those guys the football. All right, I talked about this one yesterday. This is my favorite clip of the day. 3rd and 9. We're in the second quarter. You're backed up. So this right here is such a big play because if there's an incompletion on this play, you're punting from your end zone, and that's not something you want to be. You're given unless you hit a 60-yard punt, they're going to have the ball in plus territory, which isn't a place you want to be. So this one's on your quarterback. Hey, we need you to make a big boy play here, and I think that he does that. So we'll watch the clip here in full and then kind of take a look at it because I think this is really good. So, boom, completion, Marvin Harrison, great catch, great throw, and great decision too. So what I'm thinking here, all right, so my cursor down at the bottom of your screen here, I'm on this guy in the slot. I think it might be Cade, and he's going to be running some kind of a crosser here. And then you're going to get from number 2 up top a little bit of more of a deep cross, something like this. And then Marvin, my arrow's at the top of our screen. I'll draw it from here. But then he's going to come on what's called a dig route. So he'll go 10 to 12 yards and then come across the field like this. So how you read this, I'm not sure what's down below, potentially a post maybe or a go. But anyway, when you're reading this in the inside, we call it a triangle. Okay, so you read 1 here, 1 down here to 2 in the middle, and then you check it down to number 3, your third read, if you need it on this shallow cross. So really love what you see out of Kyle to drop back, go through your progressions, and deliver a really good football from here. So you got here's your 1 crosser coming. There's another one coming a little bit deeper, and then Marvin in behind it, and you deliver. It could have been a touch more accurate, but it's not a bad throw. It's a tough throw, and especially with Marvin out there, just give him a chance. Just give him a chance to make the catch.
Yeah, and bringing pressure off the edge too. And it looked like 6 were coming, then all of a sudden 5 come.
Yeah.
And a good job of kind of hanging in there. I thought the offensive line gave him a good pocket there. It was a good pickup by Donovan Jackson, and Kyle had a chance to set his feet.
And look at this right here, right? This is exactly what you draw it up. Like we talked just a minute ago about maybe a not so good play. Here's a great pocket, and this is on the quarterback right now. It's like if he takes this hit, this is the quarterback's fault. Like he's got to step up if he needs it, right? He turns out to not need it. I think this is a good throw by, but we're locked up here. We're comboing in the middle, and everyone's blocked up here. We're throwing this guy by, and your running back has picked up the blitzer. This is a perfect pocket. That Kyle there, boom. You see that just enough, that little subtle step up, and now he's not getting touched. He's ripping one. This is how you draw it up. This is like a summertime, no one on the field, step back. Hey, this is a ball that's a tough throw to make, but he makes it really accurately. And you can see it here. Move the sticks, a huge play early on in this game.
I think it's just kind of amazing that Ohio State, for whatever reason, on slightly longer third downs, seems to have it figured out. Then they get into like 3rd and 1, 2, or 3, and it's like they forgot how to play football.
Yeah,
it's frustrating.
Yeah, it is, and it kind of comes down to like finding your really identity in those short third and shorts. Right? We know if it's 3rd and intermediate or long, like you're using Ohio State's real strength, their team's strength. Which is their wide receivers. But when you get in those 3rd and shorts, sometimes it's like, hey, what are we trying to do here? What are we trying to accomplish? This one will be quick. I think this is, if there's any throw that Kyle's going to want back from Saturday, it's going to be this one. Just an inaccurate throw here to Marvin. I think he could have potentially brought it in, but 3rd down, I'd like to see this one be where it needs to be, which is not making him having to turn and adjust, put this thing right on the hash marks on the sidelines, right between the 1 and the 8, and you're moving the chains and looking a lot better here.
Was this the opening drive of the 3rd quarter?
Yes.
Or I should say their first drive of the second half. Yeah, that was frustrating. And I think he alluded to that throw in the press conference after the game as one that he wished he had back.
Yep, and it's not, and you don't miss by much, but it's enough to get Marvin off his spot. And make it a really challenging catch for him. All right. This goes back to the 2nd quarter. I apologize. Some of these got a little jumbled. But it's just a little quick run play. And this is what we talked about yesterday. Like, there was too many of this on Saturday where you're running the football and you're taking the punch, and getting hit 1 to 2 yards from the line of scrimmage. Like there's no reason that, we should be getting hit here, especially with a guy who's locked up. Like you can kind of see the play started and we haven't reestablished the line of scrimmage. Like if you look here, like, we're kind of at a stalemate, which you shouldn't be. There's a stalemate here on this blue line. Instead of Ohio State pushing this thing, like pushing this line back. And really trying to, move the line of scrimmage. And then, boom, now you're getting stalemated. And this goes back to the physicality thing. Like, look at Youngstown State, push this pile backwards. Like, there's nothing here. When this guy gets hit, like, everyone should be on his back, pushing him forward and trying to make it move. Not that it's huge that you need 3 yards, but that's just that mentality of, like, physicality. Like, this needs to be a little bit different. This needs to look a lot different than how it does. And you see Cade Stover coming in there being – you could call it physical, maybe a little, I don't know, but just like he kind of hog ties this guy right here. I don't know about all that, but to the point, it's like there's just a little bit lacking of that physicality that we spoke on yesterday.
I don't understand why the offensive line looks so much more comfortable pass blocking. They better figure it out because this team's going to have to run the football some. They can't just chuck it every single play. I know that's their strength. But Ryan Day has said, hey, we're going to run the ball. And if they're going to run it, they got to be able to block for a run.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can't have, stuff like that happen. So again, this is going back to the 1st quarter, but just some run plays. This is a better one. Okay. So now we made a really nice hole, and now everyone's locked up. Like, look at this. This is a good picture here. And this is something as a running back that you love to see. So because like this is like a zone, this is what they call a zone run. So this gives you the opportunity, to kind of cut anywhere because they're combo block, the line's combo blocking everybody, and gives you the ability as the running back to just find your hole. So go find it. And I think we do here. This is a really nice look at the offensive line, and you'll take 6 yards on 1st and 10 every single time, 6-7 yards on 1st and 10.
Well, and even to your point from the last play, basically where you pause that. I mean, just watch the push the line got on this play, right? That's not a stalemate.
No, that's a new line of scrimmage. They established a new line of scrimmage 2 yards down the field. Like these guys, I'm fine with because you're just kind of blocking it off.
You're blocking them off to the side.
You're getting them off, right? You're just kind of getting them out of the way, and you run off their butts. But these guys are the important ones because that's where the run's hitting. And you got 2 yards. You've established a new line of scrimmage 2 yards down the field, which is awesome, and a nice little run and a nice finish there, finishing forward. All right, flip sides of the ball here. Let's get some defense here. All right, so I thought the defense played really well. Here's a 3rd down later in the game. Obviously outside of that big touchdown play, I think the defense played well. But this clip here is one that I don't know why it sticks in my head. It stuck in my head immediately during the game, but it goes back to the physicality thing. Like this guy right here, this is going to be, I don't know. He's coming across. You should light him up. Like this guy should get smoked here and should not be able to come across the middle. But instead, he not only catches it, almost gets hit, doesn't even go down, and now that moves the chains. This is 3rd and 8, okay? Like that guy should not be – he should have gotten crushed right there coming across the middle, and he's able to get yards after catch and after contact.
So you can tell there on that play, Tommy Eichenberg at linebacker blitzes, and Jack Sawyer, 33, retreats from defensive end. I wonder if Tommy wraps him up better, where Jack maybe is not, as used to dropping like that. He's perhaps not as solid of a tackler. Is that how you see that? Yeah,
for sure. Well, yes and no. Like I really like this. This is a good blitz concept because this is kind of getting into like football, like 401, but this is a double mug. So this really puts a ton of stress on the offensive line because you got now 6 guys on the line of scrimmage and you don't know which ones are coming because anybody can drop. Your defensive ends, JT could drop, Jack could drop, they could both come, everybody could come. This is a really challenging look here, but a lot of times when both the linebackers come, you drop one of these guys off because as a quarterback, you're not used to a defensive end dropping. So when Tommy comes, I don't think – you make a good point. Like, yeah, Tommy's probably more comfortable tackling in space. However, Jack Sawyer has been known to tackle guys and do it physically. Like, you get a shot at a guy not looking at you, you need to put your head, like, into his sternum and not only put him down on the ground, but, like, remove the ball from him, too, and force an incompletion. That's more of a – I know what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but I think he needs to make this hit. Boom. But, hey, that goes back. Physicality. All right, staying on the defensive side of the ball. All right, so we got 3rd and 8 here, another 3rd down for Youngstown State. I think what you're going to see a lot of in the coming weeks is a ton of motion. Youngstown State used motion really, really well to get into some looks, and we'll see one in a little bit here. But I like this play because we talked about him yesterday, but Denzel Burke kind of called out everybody, but he just shows up and he does it often. I think this is a sweet play by him, going up, making a really great interception on just a 50-50 ball, and he comes down with it. I think this is an awesome play by him. And a big one too. You're kind of getting close to the red zone, 3rd down. Like, let's just end the drive right now and make an interception. Thought it was really good by him.
First pick by an Ohio State corner in 2 years.
Nuts. That's crazy.
Unreal.
That's unbelievable. All right. Back to offense and back to Devin Brown. Yeah, this is one that he's going to want back. We talked about this one yesterday on the show, but we got 3rd and 7. Okay. And then I want you to focus down here in the slot. I think Devin is going to want this one back. Okay. So he gets some pressure. Not enough to do the jump pass thing, like, stand your ground in this one, because if you can deliver this ball to Emeka, look at this. This is very similar. Let's rewind in our heads, go back to Indiana last week where Kyle threw that rail route up the sidelines. So think of it here. Here's your rail route. All right. Here's your 2 pickers that we talked about. And then this was Marvin last week, but now it's Emeka coming across the middle. It's the same exact play. All right. So you're number 1 to here, number 2 to here, and you got something. Okay. If we're accurate on this pass, Emeka's catching this football and he could potentially be up the sidelines. Instead, we get a little pressure and you see this. We lose our form. We're doing a jump pass and we spike it into the ground. So that's one where it's like, that's a layup throw where you can see the separation here. There's nobody left. He's in man coverage. He has no idea what's happening with the football. You put an accurate throw to number 2 here. He's catching that thing. He's up the sidelines and potentially going the distance.
Yeah, that's a bad whiff by Simmons. I mean, watch a left tackle here. He just, that's not great.
It's a tough add-on.
Simmons and Jackson.
Yeah, so that's a tough add-on when you help a little bit too much. A good delay blitz, but you need to just get a hand on him a little bit more, get him off the way. Yeah, but you can't miss that up front, and which leads to a missed throw, which leads to punting the ball instead of moving the chains or going for it, but instead of moving the stick. So it's all connected.
As I'm watching that again and again here, it's actually more Donovan than it is Josh there.
He helps just a touch too much, and then he's unable to get back to the blitzer. So it's all connected, and improved line play will improve the rest of it. All right, great play here, 4th and 7. So very next play, good job up front. Good job up front, blocking it up, and nice job by Devin to just use your legs, make a play, and really accurate coming across the field. G. Scott Jr. way to be available. Catch the football and put your head down, kind of get hit forward, but you're able to move the sticks. Really nice play by Devin here in a great pocket, and you're able to make a play on 4th down. So.
Yeah, and I think this is what Ohio State really likes about him, right? I mean, he's a kid that has a lot of athletic ability and can extend plays with his legs. And in this situation, it's about as well as you could hope.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is exactly why you like this guy, right? Extends the play, boom, and is accurate on the run. It's pretty good. It's a really good clip, especially on 4th down. All right, this is a great throw. This is a rhythm throw for Devin. Excuse me. Again, offensive line, great picture here. This is a great pocket, a great place to step up. They're doing a really good job up front, and we just have a comeback to the top of our screen. Could be a little bit more accurate, but Julian Fleming's awesome, and you deliver one that's just enough. He's able to catch, get down, and we're moving the chains. But awesome clip here. Great up front by everybody, and a great throw there by Devin.
So we've shown a good number of clips here that would indicate that Ohio State has taken some steps forward here offensively, and I think they did. But there certainly have to be some other moments where the offensive line didn't look quite as strong, and perhaps in the run game.
Yeah, there certainly is. There's one. Let's see. There's definitely a couple that I know we showed the one earlier. Here's a good one. Here's the one I wanted to get to. All right, so 2nd and 1. This turns out, because Mayan Williams is really good at football, this turns out to be a really positive play. However, again, we go back to, right, it's 2nd down and 1, right? This is okay, kind of moving the line a little bit, but just the mashing of bodies in here. And here's what happens. Like, because that's the aiming point of the run, like, we didn't really do too much to, yes, we're going to move the chains here, but moving the chains is getting half a yard. But mine gets kind of stuck up in here because there's just a lack of movement. There's not really much going on there with that offensive line, and he gets stuck up. Now he's a great player and is able to turn that into a 6-yard gain. But it's just like, hey guys, move the pile, move it. We're so close. You're so close to being able to do it. Just get in there and be physical and just move bodies. And because, again, same thing, right? Not every opponent is going to be Youngstown State. This has to be better.
Yeah, and from that point, it's like, well, why not run right? But you can see the left outside linebackers kind of closing down on that play. It was just no reason for him to pounce out to the outside too early.
Absolutely. And okay, this is a good one here. So this is something I put this in here because this is something that I just want kind of our viewers to be alert of as the games progress. Watch this motion here. Okay, so you're in man-to-man coverage. Okay, so you're locked up here. There's a man-to-man. Here's man-to-man. They're locked up together. You're getting coverage here by him, and then you're getting man here. So Tommy's going to blitz, and then you got one safety left up top. Okay, so you're man-to-man. All right, so they use motion to create a huge completion here, 2nd and 7. Now watch this. He stopped his motion, but we don't get the same response. We're guarding nobody right now. Nobody's right here. His guy stopped and is right here and is going into the flat. And now look, this is the separation that's created just based off of a simple return motion, right? You send him on a sprint. We have bad eyes in the backfield, in our defensive backfield, that creates this catch that we don't have anybody there till 10 or 15 yards. So this is just one that's like, okay, I know Ohio State brought this one up in the film room. Like, hey, we need to get better at this specifically. But this is one thing to kind of keep in the back of your mind of like, hey, it's a copycat league. Football's a copycat world. Notre Dame's going to watch this tape. Western Kentucky's going to watch this tape. Penn State's going to watch this tape. It's just something that, hey, our fans just keep in the back of your mind of like, hey, teams are going to use motion when they get Ohio State in man-to-man to try to create some advantages and some easy completions. But
That's a good clip. That was obviously disappointing.
Yeah, disappointing there. And then we'll get to this is actually a good one. This would be a good one to end on, Brendan, here, because I think Devin Brown played played up and down game, I would say, but this throw right here is one that I love because we're going off of play action. It's kind of actually a similar look to the touchdown that Kyle threw earlier, where we get a huge extended drop off of play action. And I actually think this is an okay look up front. Would like it to be better over here at the top of your screen, but we're good here. We're good here. No pressure. And I love this throw by Devin as he just kind of stands in there and steps up and delivers one. I wish there was a back angle on this because this kind of that window right there reminds me of the throw Kyle made last week against Indiana. To Julian, where it's fitted in between three guys and just be really accurate with the football.
I think that's Carnell Tate, and I'm pretty sure Ohio State scored on the next play when Travion went for 30. But I thought that was his best throw of the day.
Such a good throw. This is like a great clip of him just using the play action, having a great drop back, staying in there, right? And even just a couple clips earlier, he had some pressure and it changed his release. He got kind of gun shy. This one, he steps into one, stands down, staring down the barrel of the gun, and he stays in there, steps into it, and delivers a nice little shot. Carnell Tate, great route, great catch as well.
Yeah, and I think Ryan Day was kind of alluding to the fact that, Devin maybe played with a little jitters and was pretty amped up at the beginning and, until he got hit, needed to settle into the game.
Yeah.
I don't think, and again, we've said this a bunch, I don't think Devin played terribly. I just thought Kyle was cleaner and the offense was really efficient under him. I don't have any issue with the kind of football that the Buckeyes play when Kyle's in there. I want a decision to be made here. I don't know that Ryan Day is going to just draw a line in the sand tomorrow when he talks to the media and say Kyle's the guy. But I don't see any reason why Kyle isn't going to be the starter next week. The question is just going to be how many reps does Kyle get against Western Kentucky versus how much are they going to still give Devin chances before, you got a game that is one of your, hey, wake up and play well. This is a big game.
Yeah, and I think what you'll see is that it's going to turn into more of starter versus backup reps. I don't think it's going to be whereas to this point it's been kind of even, or at least on Saturday it was like, hey, they both got starter reps. I think you'll see it be Kyle's going to get the lion's share of the of the starter reps, and then when the backups start coming in, I think because Devin still needs reps and he'll get some on Saturday, but won't get the more meaningful ones, in my opinion. And that's kind of the way I'm seeing it. I think we're seeing it the same way.
So let me ask you this. I know we didn't really look at too much of the defensive line on tape there, but what did you see from the defensive line that was encouraging, and what did you see that was frustrating?
Yeah, I think it goes back to the conversation that we had yesterday where there was a lot of just quick releases in terms of the pass rush, where it was snapping the ball and the ball's out of your hand immediately for Youngstown State. That was kind of the theme of their offense, and that was evident everywhere. Now, from a discouraging side, I don't think there was honestly too much. Like, it's really hard to do that because Youngstown State game plans for that, and that was their plan going in. Always want to be stout against the run, which I think they were. They looked fine. They honestly did look fine to me. A couple plays here or there, but that's going to happen. But from a lot of people were saying that they were discouraged by the pass rush. I wouldn't be. There was really no reading going on or holding the ball going on from Youngstown State. They had no opportunity to get to the quarterback.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we'll continue to watch it as we move forward. I mean, I do think it's fair that, especially early in the game, Mitch Davidson the ball's out of his hand real quick.
Yeah.
So we'll monitor that, but I think we need a little bit better play out of our defensive ends. But that might be a little gut feeling more than actually seeing it on the tape.
Yeah, absolutely. They can always room to improve, but I wasn't. Don't be too concerned quite yet. We'll let them go for a little bit.
Love it. Mm-hmm. Good job. That was fun and better, easier. I hope people had a little easier time seeing this week. We made a couple of changes there, and hopefully with those that it was a little easier to follow along. So that'll pretty much close the book on our really in-depth Youngstown State coverage. I mean, we'll still talk a little bit throughout the course of the week of some storylines that have developed and certainly played out against YSU, but for the most part, we're going to start taking a look moving forward now at Western Kentucky, and we'll try to give you a little idea of what to expect from the Hilltoppers. They definitely want to throw it around the yard, so the Buckeyes got to be ready for that. That's for sure. So for Anthony Moeglin, I'm Brendan Gulick. Thanks for hanging out with us on Monday morning inside the film room. We love doing it, and we'll be here every Monday to go through some tape. But look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning, Tuesday, as we begin our preview with Ohio State and Western Kentucky.